Yo, we got a developing story, man. We got to talk about, man. We got to get to this, man. We got these new narratives out there, and it shockingly come from Tony Rizzo. Tony Rizzo has put a new narrative out there about Deshaun Watson, on how Deshaun Watson came into the first day of minicamp, and he said Deshaun Watson looked good, and he took majority of the first team reps from Shedeur Sanders. Now, we all remember what Todd Monken said, that the reps are not going to be distributed evenly. And it seems like whoever's going to be quarterback one is going to get majority of the reps. And now Tony Rizzo has put out there in the stratosphere that Deshaun Watson got majority of the reps. But it's a catch to it. And you got to pay close attention when we get off into it. You're now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Well, guys, man, we got to talk about what Tony Rizzo had to say, man. And he dropped a bombshell report about Deshaun Watson getting all the first team reps, or majority of them. And we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sap, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your topics. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio stereo. Pump it high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic. Man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, you know I always say this. Y'all know I got something to say. It's all about narratives, man. We got a new narrative going on. We got a new narrative that's circulating around these X streets. And it's coming from a guy that we thought was all in on Shedeur Sanders and Tony Rizzo. So it's shockingly to hear what he had to say. But it's a catch to it. And basically, the start of minicamp, Shedeur Sanders, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel, the three quarterbacks in the quarterback room, reported. And we know from what we saw in all the footage and everything that was verified that Shedeur Sanders started out under center first. He was the first quarterback up the bat. And like Todd Monken said, we starting off the way we ended the season. And that was at Shedeur Sanders at quarterback one because he was on a 2-game win streak. And Todd Monken basically telling people, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So Shedeur Sanders going into mini camps and OTAs, he has a leg up of being quarterback one for the Cleveland Browns in 2026. Now, this has been a hot topic. This has been a hot topic of conversation. And there's all kinds of narratives out there because we've always said that the Cleveland media and the Cleveland insiders want anybody but Shedeur. And like they say, they don't like Deshaun Watson, but they don't want Shedeur Sanders. But now Tony Rizzo, one of our guys that we thought that was always 10 toes down about Shedeur Sanders, he's reporting now that Deshaun Watson took majority of the reps in OTAs. And I don't know what kind of sign that is and how that looks for Shedeur Sanders going down the road. But this was just the first day of OTAs. And also the quarterback tracker was back. But they both threw 16 passes. Shedeur Sanders threw a pick. Deshaun Watson had 4 or 5 balls deflected. And we saw what Dylan Gabriel did the rest of the opportunities. And he had 2 picks on the least amount of attempts. But Tony Rizzo, our man Rizzo, is putting out there in the stratosphere. And this is what Rizzo had to say. Tony Rizzo says Deshaun Watson looked phenomenal while taking majority of the reps during the Browns minicamp practice last week. Let me say this. He said, I heard. See, that's the catch-22. He said, I heard Deshaun Watson took majority of the reps on Wednesday when you guys were not allowed to watch practice and he looked phenomenal. See, that's the catch right there. He's saying that he looked phenomenal when you guys was not allowed to watch practice. And this is coming from brownsnation.com, and this is what Tony Rizzo had to report. So when I tell you guys about narratives, it's filled with conjecture and rush to judgment and jumping to conclusions. Just because somebody looks phenomenal and you report that and you put emphasis on it that he got majority of the reps, because Todd Monken been talking about this all off season about the reps are not going to get distributed evenly. And basically a lot of people were saying, well, Todd Monken is in favor of Shedeur Sanders. But if they not distributing these reps evenly, it's a new narrative out there. It's something else we got to watch for. It's something that we got to take a step back and think, like, what angle is Tony Rizzo coming at? Because he said that this was a practice that you guys was not able to watch. So I wonder who told him that information. Like, where is he getting the information if he was not able to see Deshaun Watson in action from what he just said when he said when you guys was not allowed to watch practice? So that's what I said. All this information that's coming out that's just misconstrued and mischievous, like you don't know what to believe. And I'm at this notion now, if I ain't heard it from Andrew Berry or I ain't heard it from Todd Monken, I can't believe it. I just got to treat business as usual. But this is what I'm trying to tell you guys, man. Be careful on what you guys listen to, man. Because there's a lot of people that are running to these YouTube streets, putting out these false narratives, man, and just doing anything to get clicks and views and all kinds of stuff. Just jumping to conclusion without having the facts. So that's why I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention, because this is a developing story. And you know Tony Rizzo, man, I mean, he's a straight shooter. I mean, he's been advocating for Shedeur Sanders since last year to give Shedeur Sanders a chance, but now I'm trying to figure out where his angle is. Like, you know, it's okay to report that Deshaun Watson looked phenomenal. That's kudos to him coming back off of, you know, Achilles injury, being removed from the league off 2 years, and to get his feet back wet and look phenomenal. But let's slow down and let's pump our brakes, man, on stuff that is floating out there. But I had to bring it to my audience, man, to let y'all know that this is in the stratosphere as well. Because like I said, man, all these new narratives, man, they just coming up out of nowhere. And it seems to me that this train is going to roll on with this narrative, anybody but Shedeur. I think Cleveland media focuses more on their quarterback situation than any other team that's in the NFL. Andrew Berry just come off a stellar draft, got pieces in play, and we still focused on this quarterback situation, man. The quarterback situation is going to be what the quarterback situation is going to be, man. And it is what it is. But when these new narratives and these false narratives and these false reports come out, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. But that's coming from Tony Rizzo, man. So it's a developing story. We're going to keep our eye closely on it. We're going to keep our eye closely on this developing story that Rizzo has been reporting. Because now the mini camps and training camps, they start on May 8th, and we're going to see what this is all about. And see, this is what I don't understand. Why come they never report that Shedeur Sanders looks good? He looks phenomenal. And there's footage out there backing that up on what we saw in all the videos that was posted and that was going viral online of Shedeur Sanders under center, making some precision passes and precise passes, and his footwork has changed. The body has slimmed down, quicker on his feet. Why don't they talk about that? But hey, it is what it is, man. I see everybody in the comments section. Hashtag salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger, because we've been dropping bangers lately. And don't forget to tune in to the Big Snacks and KSAP show on Saturday mornings at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Sports Life Trio, where we bring you all that Cleveland heat. And just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, KSAP. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.